Welcome to Final Arc. Today we're counting down the top 5 worst fates in anime. These are the characters who suffered the most, lost the most, and never caught a break. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, Shou Tucker, from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. On the surface, a loving father, a respected state alchemist, a man with everything going for him. But here's the thing about Shou Tucker. His entire career was built on a single achievement. Years ago, he created a talking chimera, something no one had ever done before. It made him famous, it made him important. The problem? That chimera was his wife, and when his license renewal came up, when the pressure got too much, he did it again. This time, he used his own daughter, Nina, and her dog, Alexander. He fused them together into a creature that could barely speak, but still called out, "Play with us, Daddy." Edward Elric, one of the most hardened young alchemists in the world, broke down completely. This was a man who sat at the dinner table with his daughter every night and still chose to do it. And he had to live knowing exactly what he did. That's what makes it one of the worst fates in anime. Not what was done to him, but what he chose to become. Number 4, Itachi Uchiha, Naruto. From the outside, he looked like the ultimate traitor, a monster, the man who wiped out his entire clan in a single night. But here's what most people didn't know. Itachi didn't choose this. He was ordered to do it by the very village he dedicated his life to protecting. The elders gave him 2 options: let the clan's coup happen and watch the whole village collapse into war, or stop it himself, quietly, permanently. So at just 13 years old, he did it. He killed every single member of his clan, his friends, his family, his parents, people who looked him in the eyes and trusted him, and he had to carry that alone, every single day. But he couldn't bring himself to kill his little brother Sasuke. So instead, he made Sasuke hate him, gave him a reason to survive, a reason to get stronger. He became the villain so his little brother could have a purpose. Itachi spent years living as a criminal, a killer, a monster in the eyes of the world, sick, dying, and completely alone. And when Sasuke finally found him, Itachi let himself loose. He died never telling the truth, never getting to say sorry, never getting to say I love you. The village he protected never acknowledged him. The brother he saved never understood him, until it was too late. Number 3, Homura Akemi, Puella Magi Madoka Magica. She looks quiet, cold, distant, like someone who has given up caring about the world. And honestly, that's exactly what she is. But the reason why is what breaks you. Homura has the ability to rewind time. Sounds powerful, right? But here's the catch. Every time she resets the timeline, her memories stay, her pain stays, her grief stays. She has lived through the same period of time hundreds of times over, and no one around her ever remembers any of it. She is completely and utterly alone in her suffering. And why does she keep rewinding? Because of Madoka, her best friend, the one person who was kind to her when no one else was. Every single timeline Homura enters, Madoka dies, or suffers, or sacrifices herself, and Homura has to watch it happen over and over and over again, powerless to stop it no matter how hard she tries. She fights alone every timeline, gets stronger every reset, becomes colder, harder, more detached with every loop, because every time she lets herself feel something, she just ends up losing it again. So she stopped feeling. She turned herself into a weapon for one person who never even remembers her. Hundreds of timelines, hundreds of deaths, hundreds of resets, all for a girl who had no idea any of it was happening. Homura didn't just suffer once. She suffered the same suffering on repeat for what felt like a lifetime, and she chose to keep going every single time. Not for glory, not for power, just because she refused to give up on someone who couldn't even remember her name. Number 2, Guts, from Berserk. If suffering had a face, it would look exactly like his. This man has been through things that would break anyone else in the first chapter alone. But we're not here to talk about just any moment. We're here to talk about the eclipse, the single most brutal betrayal in anime history. Guts was born from the corpse of his hanged mother, sold as a child soldier before he could even read, used, abused, and forced to kill from the moment he could hold a sword. He had never known safety, never known family, never known what it felt like to belong somewhere, until he found the Band of the Hawk. For the first time in his entire life, Guts had people, real people who fought beside him, laughed with him, bled with him. And at the center of it all was Griffith, his commander, his rival, the closest thing he ever had to a best friend. It was the first time Guts ever let his guard down, the first time he ever felt something worth protecting. And then Griffith sacrificed every single one of them. Every member of the Band of the Hawk was offered up to demons so Griffith could be reborn as a god. Guts watched his friends get torn apart one by one. He lost his arm trying to fight back. He lost his eye. And the woman he loved was violated in front of him while he was held down and forced to watch, unable to save her, unable to do anything. And after all of that, he survived, which sounds like a good thing. But Guts wakes up every single night, hunted by demons, attracted to the brand, burned into his skin. He can never sleep safely, never stop moving, never truly rest. The one person he trusted most destroyed everything he ever loved. And Guts has to keep living with that every single day. And at number 1, Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan. No character in anime history has carried a heavier burden. No fate has been more devastating, more complicated, or more heartbreaking than his. This isn't just a story about a boy who became a monster. This is a story about a boy who never had a choice to begin with. When Eren inherited the Attack Titan and the Founding Titan, he didn't just get power, he got memories, past and future. In a single moment, Eren saw everything that was going to happen. Every death, every battle, every atrocity, including his own actions. He saw himself standing over the bodies of millions of innocent people before he ever made the decision to do it. Imagine being a teenager and watching yourself become the world's greatest mass murderer, and knowing you're going to do it anyway. Because here's the part that truly breaks you. Eren didn't start the rumbling because he wanted to. He started it because it was the only path that ended with his friends surviving. The only way the people he loved most could live was if he became the villain the entire world needed to unite against. So he made himself the monster. He unleashed the Wall Titans. He marched them across the world. He killed millions of innocent people, consciously, deliberately, alone. And at the end of it all, he didn't run. He didn't fight back. When his friends came to stop him, the same people he did all of this for, he faced them. He let Mikasa, the person he loved most in the world, be the one to end it, because that was always how it was supposed to go. He had already seen it. He had already accepted it. He walked into his own death with his eyes wide open. Eren Yeager was born into a world of suffering he didn't create. He inherited a curse he didn't ask for. He was shown a future he couldn't escape. And instead of breaking down, he carried it all by himself. Every sleepless night, every horrible decision, every life he took. He bore all of it alone so the people he loved wouldn't have to. He never got to just be a kid. He never got to just live. He saw the end of his story before it even began, and he walked toward it anyway. That is why Eren Yeager has the worst fate in anime. And that's our top 5 worst fates in anime. If your favorite didn't make the list, drop them in the comments. Because trust me, this conversation is not over. This was FinalArc. If you're new here, hit subscribe because we are just getting started. More rankings, more deep dives, more moments that are going to hit you right here. We'll see you in the next one.